Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to import sign-in spreadsheets for a particular event. So there's a bit of a workflow, and I've detailed it here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is definitely create that event as an online event. So it was a past event, you had this sign-in sheet, but then you end up using spreadsheets to collect it. Create that event first. Then the next thing you want to do is definitely go into your spreadsheet, clean up that data so that names and everything are in separate columns. So I'll give you an example here, making sure first, last names are separated columns. You know, if you're collecting email, are the emails looking all right? The phone numbers, you may have additional information. And then you're going to want to save this spreadsheet as a .csv file. That's a comma separated value file. So you have to save it as a .csv file in order to import. Then you're going to go through the import process, and there's another training on that and some other materials, but you're going to do like a series of two types of imports because you may not know if you have duplicates, right? And this all depends on the kind of information you're collecting, if you can even find a match in your database. So first thing you'll want to do is just import those contacts first using the skip duplicates option. And when you're doing that import, you want to put them in a regular group. So maybe create a temporary group so that you can always backtrack, and in case you make a mistake, you can find those contacts quickly because you've put them in a group. If PowerBase comes back with duplicate contacts, you'll get another file. So then you can take a look at that file, and then you can decide how you want to import those folks. So maybe you just want to fill, again, it's just if there's empty information in the database for those contacts, it'll just fill them. Or maybe you just want to update the information. So you're going to use the fill or update duplicates option on this second round of imports if needed. And you're also going to add them to that group that you created. Then after the import's completed, you will go in and you can then search for that group. You select all the records, and then under that actions drop-down menu, you can just select to register the participants for the event all in once and then add them to the event. And that's how that works. So let's take a look. Again, here I have my spreadsheet. I've done my data cleaning. This is all I'm going to have. I know it's for my climate change leadership workshop back in January 15th. So I know what the event is. I'm going to do this kind of process, which is actually fairly simple. So let's go into, and I've saved this file as a .csv file. So let's go into our database and let's start with the process. So I'm going to just do really quick imports, contacts, import contacts, and I'm going to make sure I grab my sheet. So let me grab my sheet. I have my my actual sheet here, and so I'm going to grab them. This is my CSV file, first rows, headers, and again, I kept this really simple. These are individual. So the first round, I'm going to just skip any duplicates so I can handle them. And here, you'll need to know what your duplicate rules are. Here we have a rule for name, email, phone. Again, if there are dates, you want to use this date, month, day, and the year. That would be if you had a date thing. But in this case, I don't need to enter dates unless you're collecting dates for other reasons. So I'm going to go and just click the import, do the mapping. I'm going to do this quickly. And it's great because I use the same names. It knows what to do. But this one's going to be a mobile phone. So I know this is a mobile phone. So I'm going to grab that. And I'm just going to hit continue. And so I have 9 rows. They look like it's good to go. So I want to make sure I'm going to add these imported records to a new group. I haven't created that group yet. So I'm going to create a temporary group so I can find this. And I'm just going to call it climate change. I'm going to call it my January 15 import, right? Just so I know it's my import and I can find them later. And I'm going to click import now. And this should be fairly quick because I only have a few records. Great. So notice here on this screen, it already created the group. So 7 were added, but I have a couple more that were duplicates. So I would download those duplicates, right? And make sure you download them. So you could download them and you can save them as a separate file and just name it any way you want, right? So you just name it and you're done. Now I've already, just to make this process simpler, I've already saved the duplicate records. I'm just going to go in and go to, I'm going to do the import again, import contacts. I like to start from fresh every time, make sure it's a CSV file. You're going to browse your file and you're going to go ahead and find your duplicates, right? So I had an import duplicate and make sure that was from today. That is from today. So this is the one I'm going to grab, my import duplicates, this one. And again, I'm just going to grab the first row. I'm going to grab this one now. I know has phone numbers that I wanted to update. So I'm going to just click on update on these duplicates using my rule. Again, if you had a date in there, you would enter that. And then I'm going to just click continue. And it's going to say, okay, there's 2. And then here I have to do my mapping. So I'm not going to mapping. The duplicate thing adds a line number and it tells you what the reason was for. But I'm just going to go ahead and do, because I've already taken a look at the information in that duplicate file. Definitely make sure you look at the duplicate file to decide what you want to do. I've decided I want to go ahead and just import these. So I've imported, this is the import duplicates. It's gonna update the phone number because there's a match on the email, and now I'm going to hit continue. And here I'll have the opportunity now to add them to the group, and I've already created that group. So there's my group, and I am going to import. So everything looks good. Click the import. Great. It's going to grab these imports. Perfect. So now I can see my group, right? You can see that there's a group there that was already created, and I should have 9 in these. If I just click on it, it'll show you the groups, the folks. And here are the folks that I've just added in that group. It makes it easy. So if you've made a mistake, you can go fix it. You can go and fix anything else from your import. So now I'm just going to grab all of them and I'm going to add them all to the event that I just created. So I had created my event already. So I did the before, and there's other videos on how to create the event, but I just created an offline event, and now I can just select them all and go down to register the participants for the event. And when I do that, I can go find my events, which was my climate change workshop. So you may have to go find it. If I start typing, because there's like a lot of series, if I just start typing, it'll find all the climate change ones. And yeah, and then I have another one loading. And so there it is. There's my leadership workshop right here, the January one, January 15th. And here they were attended. I could register them all for that same date. So maybe I'll just go back to January 15th, 2020. It doesn't really matter what time. And I'm going to make sure they're attended. So I'm going to click on attended, and I'm not sending anything else. And that's basically it. So now if I go to save, I've now added all those folks to that event, right? So if you needed to just verify, you can go to manage events. And here again, it's an older event, so I have to use the search, the find events and search by date. Again, I could put the date, but there shouldn't be that many. And I know it's towards the bottom. I just look for the date. So if I look for my January 15th date, there it is. And now I can just click on participants to verify. And there they are. Thursday 9 for that, from that sign-in sheet, and they're all marked as attended. And that's how you import from a sign-in spreadsheet.